Pick a deck reading for Caitlin from Mystical Moment. The first one is the Sea Witch, but let me go to guidebook 52. The happiness, it's not lasting. Perhaps you find a way to feel joy through whatever play that you desire, whatever that you have explored and found that to be enjoyable. So therefore, you keep seeking that kind of enjoyment to create the moment of happiness for your life. But however, that type of happiness won't last because you're applying this type of stimulation to help you, but that true happiness is never really come from the inside because you're relying on the stimulation to help you to feel that kind of joy. So that's what this first card is trying to tell you. And also you're not realizing that about the stimulation, how it could affect your inside to cause you to have sadness. So this type of living or so-called approach to life is not sustainable, and that's what this card is trying to tell you. You see this little child holding on to this fish so tightly and won't let go. This fish is like suffocating, it's in shock. This is more like your soul. It feels like you're hijacking your soul. That's what I'm seeing here. And you go about innocently, a whatever enjoyment in life, in the physical life form, and forget that you have a soul inside. Nightwire 46. It's about connections. Connection not in the physical sense, but connection in the spiritual sense. The one that you don't know about. Even though you don't know about. But I feel like you understand something deep within you, even though you don't, it is the unknown to you. Why not just pick that? Why not just, what's a better way of saying it? Why not continue these directions? Let that be the guide to the approach of your life instead of stuck in the physical side of life, stuck in the one that you can use your body to sense. Have you tried hard enough to use your soul to sense? That is the sixth sense that I'm talking about here. And there's so much magical and spiritual things out there that you cannot use your body to do it. And that's what this card is trying to tell you that. And it is feasible. Day and night. Well, from this guidebook, it's talking about uncertainty, fear, worry, or trying to anticipate so that you can make better decisions. All of that, all those negativities, but you haven't followed your sixth sense. From the previous card is talk about it. Why not guide yourself to that direction instead of stuck in the physical form of life? And perhaps if you take that leap of faith, you will see something that you never seen before, to finally understand how those uncertainty, how those negativities are affecting you, not only the inside but the outside as well. So your guardian saying those are struggles. Struggles have so many forms, not only the body, your mind, heart, and soul do struggle as well. Have you tried to look from that perspective yet? So hold on to the decisions until you get to know those aspects of life. 50, the observer. It's about awareness. The more inner awareness that you have, the better the clarity will come to you. But however, you have to shift your focus because your perception is still stuck in that physical life form. I mean, that is all that you ever taught, that you are ever learned from the physical form of life. But anything from the internal side of it is not like someone actually teach you or someone that you can look up to get that. Only you can discover who you are, Caitlin, not for someone else telling you that you should become this. This is good for you. I think this look good on you. Blah, 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 blah. I mean, all those own opinions only create noise inside of you. And I hope you realize those noise are influencing you. If you can pull back and be like this observer, she's looking through the camera and just see what's going on with that length, what's going on with the situation, what's going on with that feeling, what's going on with that mind, and so forth, right? If you can look through this lane and what's going on inside of you, and that will help you shift your focus to the moon and back. Desires, longings, hopings for miracles. That is like sitting on that and like things come to you on certain whatever that you're hoping for. But that is just wishful thinking. And your guardians want you to reflect on those desires, the wishes, so-called hopes. How realistic are they? How are they serving your greatest good? Have you figured out those desires, the hopes are from certain emotion that you have? Have you figured out those emotions yet? How they are linked to those desires and hopes? Have you identified those emotions? Are they on the negative side or the positive side? Anything else I need to say about this? Key on tree 49. You are your own solutions, like this elephant trapped in the top of the tower. Yeah, and the nose has the key. You just need to pull it up and unlock the cage and walk out of this tower so you don't have to being trapped here. And that's the impression that is trying to say that you can unlock your own problems. When you do that, you can free yourself, Caitlin. You don't have to trap into your own limitations, desires, hopes, negative emotions, all that. Your mind, heart, and soul, including your bodies, are trapped in you in this cage here. And that's what causing the limitations. And that's why your guardian wants you to have more inner awareness of this. What are you doing to your own self? So you are your own solution. Nobody has solution for you. Seeking outside of you only influence you because that's their own opinions about you. They don't feel what you feel. They don't go through what you go through, Kaylin. Be aware of that. Sure, you might talk about yourself to somebody, but still, that is your feelings that they don't feel. Only you have. You have it. Only you can fix it. Only you can free yourself from it. So I hope you see why seeking outside cannot help you. You can only help yourself about your own self, whatever happening inside of you. 48. Butterfly Gardens. The butterfly is signify transformations. I feel like your guardian wants you to go back to see, do you understand how you have been transforming yourself? Your language can tell you something about that kind of 5. The way you interact with people can tell you about your story as well. Because they all translate into your own emotions. At this moment in time and as of today, you are emotionally driven in your approach to your life. Your guardian wants you to go deeper into that inner world of yours to discover what they are. Pull them out to your consciousness so you can work on each one of them to help you see if this is the darkness or is this so-called the light. Nothing has to be labeled as good and bad or the good and evil. So hopefully you can toss that idea away and look at it as dark and light to help yourself to discern, not to judge whatever happened to you in the past. So you can pull each one of them out to see how you have transformed it all this time. Once you understand that, you can re-transform yourself to recreate a better, beautiful inner world. So that way you don't have to keep holding on to those burdens. So be curious about yourself. Like one of the cards said, shift your focus. 47. My dear friend, Woman's and the deer. Companionship. The journey with companionship. Whoever you have encountered in your life, whether they come and go, I feel like there's something to learn from each one of them. And they're worth going back to reflect on, Caitlin. For some reasons, Pacific individual brings sorrows to you that hold this in your heart. So this is something to work on, to see what you can do to release these sorrows. We all one day have to go. We cannot hold on to this vessel forever. So it isn't about the body, right, that you need to hold on to. It is your soul, your spirit self, your well-being. And I hope you can see that through your companionship, right, as well. That you cannot hold on to this worther being. Because people comes and go. So you do too. If you can take this perspective and expand it in your approach of life, this to help you to let go the sorrow, and you can transform it a little bit at a time into the spiritual love. In other words, the universal love. So may you see beauty in everything around you, so that way you don't judge what they are. And I'm not just talking about the non-living things, right? The living, the non-living, the one with consciousness and the one without the consciousness the same. And I hope you treat all of them the same. I hope you see the unique beauty in each one of them as well, to lighten up the burden that you carry, to lighten up the sorrow that you still have in your heart. So live your moment, live your life in the present moment, and enjoy each one of them. Because I feel like there's some soul lessons to be learned from them, so you can grow into a beautiful butterfly, to free yourself from your own limitations. And this is the last card for you, Kaylin. New directions. It is about saying goodbyes. Goodbye to your approach to life. Goodbye to your old pattern. Goodbye to your narrowed perceptions. Goodbye to the way you judge. Goodbye to certain negative feelings that you have. And so forth and so forth. Take a leap of faith. Allow your inner courage to be your strength, to take a new direction in life. The spiritual approach to life, not the physical approach to life. So you can integrate all aspects of your life to be oneness. Your higher self is calling out to you, Caitlin, to feel your soul, what it is trying to tell you. And I feel like it needs positive energy. I feel like it needs to let go of those burdens in order to get those positive energy back. Do you see how your negative feeling can create low energy for you? If you can say goodbye to those what's not serving your greatest good, and this will be a new direction for you. And this is the annual reading, Kaylin. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. Pick a deck reading for Bridget. Let me move this instruction out of the way. This is the Knight of Swords. Running, chasing after something. But something is running away and you're trying to chase it. That's what's going on here. You're being emotionally triggered by this. The separations, perhaps. Something is separating in your life. Something happened in the past. There was a separations. It's triggering you because it's deeply impacted you, causing you to want to chase something in your life, whether that emotion is. But let me move on to this card here, the Fool. Should I? What is that emotion? The love, the attention, the fear, the worry, the betrayal. That betrayal has anger, unforgiveness, anything else. Scared. You are scared. Lost, confusions. Regardless of how long that separations was, but that's already tainted your heart. Even though you think that you move on, but it's still lingering in you. So you're chasing after something for this remaining lifetime because you couldn't heal the wound. But that is so complex, the emotion that you have caused by that separations. Because I just list them out for you, Bridget. Even I cannot put them all in a context for you because of the complexity. But let me move on to the next card. Is there any more from this one? The Fool. I feel like you're going backward. I'm seeing her leaning on her back, holding on to something. And that's why I got a sense of feeling you're going backward instead of really moving forward with your life. And it has a lot to do with the first card, causing you to move backward. And the fear is quite strong as well. Makes you want to protect yourself, makes you want to be on the defensive side, makes you want to be on guard. And whatever that situation might be that you have encountered are triggering that. And it's very hard to live like that, Bridget. When you worries, And I feel like you do know your worries when you worry, but can you dive deeper into feeling that? How that separation has caused the way you are today. I feel like this victim mentality needs to let go. Should I move on to the next card so I don't have to keep channeling? King of Swords. I feel like, yeah, you're doing some sort of a backward self transformation to cause you to have this victim mentality that carry in you so you can see a higher purpose of why you have to go through that separation. But that's the only way to see the dark side in you. How the darkness can warp your life. How the darkness can transform you in a negative way. How that darkness can cause this bitterness coming through me right now to say that, yeah, there's some tears. I don't know, you're still crying or your heart is just bleeding. Though a certain time in this life journey, even still is. It's like emptiness inside, even though you try so hard to fill it with something else. And that's what causing you to chase your life. So that explained it why the first card, the complexity. This card will explain it why you're chasing. It's not a good energy to have when you're chasing. You're working too hard to chase for something, to fill this emptiness, to fill this void for so long because you haven't really healed that wound in the past. Should I move on? Your guardian wants you to reflect on this because if you're not willing to reflect on this wound, because it's such a huge wound on you, and you keep finding way to fill this void, it's only harden your heart further to move you away from self-love, and it's only create more of the anxiety and depression for you. So I hope that you hear this higher calling right now. Slow down. There's no need to chase for happiness. All you need to do is heal this wound so you can open your heart and soul to love yourself again. But of course, you have to change your mindset, change your attitude. You don't need to blame anymore. You don't need to victimize yourself anymore. You can love yourself. You can forgive whoever hurt you in the past. And that's the way to the light compassions. Be compassionate to yourself. Nine of Swords. Yeah, this girl is crying in the red dress, the red color dress. The red color will stand for love, stand for passions and all of that, but you're crying, you're bleeding. Previously that I said sometimes you actually crying in bed. That's what I'm getting. How often that is, I don't know. But if that depression and even anxiety are getting to you, that is the sign about this wound, how much it impacted you. You don't have to sleep on your tears, Bridget. Have the courage to face it. Go back to this past. You can learn to forgive. And I know it's not easy. Yeah, a lot of people want eye for eye. What does it get you? It won't change anything. It won't change what happened in the past. It's not the way to love yourself either. Loving yourself is not about hurting another person. Loving yourself is not about unfairness. Loving yourself is not carrying this hate, anger, resentment toward these individuals. We all have our own darkness once upon a time. He has it, you has it. I think that is a fair thing to say. We all have darkness in this entire world. We are stuck in this darkness because we don't want to realize we have our own darkness. We don't realize that, hey, I have darkness. My darkness is impacting you. So therefore, I need to change myself first, not trying to change the other person. If I can change myself now and I don't need to contribute this darkness in this society, then I know I'm not encouraging this negativity anymore to create more darkness in people. So I hope you see, Bridget, why you need the compassions for everything. And I hope that you're not keep having preference of what do you want, what do you desire, what do you prefer in that regard. When you do that, you're isolating yourself. It's hard for you to open your heart to love. And that's what this Nine of Swords is trying to say, why your heart is bleeding. That's why you're still crying, sleeping on your tears. Do you want to continue this energy, chasing for something? Four of Swords. This is like resting in peace, this girl in her own nest, like nurturing herself after so many struggles, after so many battles. Perhaps she realized it's not the outside that she really needs. It's really the inside that needs to rest. And I see this heart is beautiful, despite all those wounds in the past. And I feel like, yeah, this red string here, connecting to all each of these battles, is like a saw, right? But it's a little, I don't know what I call it. It's used to build the nets. She's connecting to each one of them, despite how thorny each one of them might be. It's like it representing the past wound that you have, all those unpleasant that spit off. And you see how dirty her clothing, even her skin. Because she's been through so much, it's too tiring. But when she sleep here, she's so peaceful and happy. Because she realized that she needs to let go what's happened to her in the past. She no longer need to seek on the outside to justify, to validate anything. Because she realized all she needs is the love. She just needs to ignite this love to find this inner peace. And that's this nest is about nurturing this love. And I hope you see what your spiritual guardian is trying to tell you. You can ignite this light in the darkness that you have, the darkness that you have experienced. So you don't have to keep stuck in this darkness, so-called cycling. over and over again. The Seven of Swords. Still trying to get the justice. Still trying to do, but this, what do you call the raven or the owl? Not the owl, the name of the bird, the black bird, raven, the crow, or raven. It's like a warning sign. That's what I'm seeing. Danger. Be alert. But this life is like, you didn't hear the self reflections. You didn't hear the spiritual sign when there's so much blessing from above, and yet you still try to get something from the outside to get the justice that serve you no, that serve you nothing. And I hope that you take this previous card, what it's trying to tell you, what it is that you're trying to learn here, to learn what is really love versus seeking justice on the outside. And there's a huge contrast between these two cards. I can put this side by side. And there's a dark path and there's a light path, and that's the contrast that I'm seeing in these two cards. And I hope that you can take this information and really deeply reflect on this. Do you want to continue this dark path, or do you want to continue this light path? So it's up to you, Bridget. You can only change yourself. You cannot change other people. And this is the last card for you, the Magicians. This is about you. You own your soul. Nobody else owns you. Unless you give away your free will, Bridget. Giving away your free will is the worstest thing to have. You get lost in the darkness. You let the outside to influence you, to manipulate you, to control you. And I hope how dangerous that is to your own well-being. To take back of your own inner creation, you have to realize none of your emotions that you feel or have felt are permanent things. You can exercise your free will to transform to a better being. And let's start with forgiveness. And let's start with compassion. And let's start opening up your heart to love again. This isn't about loving on the outside. It's about loving your inside. You can love yourself again, no matter what you have been through. And remember, continue to blame and continue to victimize yourself. That only leads you down to the downward path. It's not going to help you to see the truth. It's not going to help you to see the light within you. So be aware of that. Keep that in mind, I hope. Forgiveness is the only way out of that, so you can stop victimizations. Is there anything I want to say for Bridget here? Guide you in here. May you find light from your spiritual guardian. That reading for Morgan with the signs of the times. Let me move this instruction up so you can see. First card, the evil eye, protections. You do not need spiritual protection the way that you think you do. Perhaps you're under the false belief doing what people are saying. It might seem working for them, but the truth it's really something else when it comes to energy. It is more about how you should change your energy from within you. It is not so much about protecting the energy. So when you change your mind, set about how you perceive protections, you can remove these limitations that you set for yourself. Is there anything I want to say about this particular card? There is no such thing evil. People tend to define how this person is evil, how this person is good. But why not change your perception and say, I need to discern the difference between dark and light. And that's another message that I'm picking up through this card for you. The eye. This also stands for the third eye chakra. Some people need to activate it. Some people are just naturally born with intuitive ability. That's what this third eye chakra is. It isn't for seeing the future. It isn't for anticipation. What is that the eye chakra is about? It is about reconnecting to your soul language called intuition. The human race forgot about that. Yeah, we use languages to speak to each other, but the soul has its own kinds of language as well. You might heard of the term sixth sense. That's what intuition is from. It's not from the physical form of life, the five senses that we have. So the third eye chakra isn't doing it for fun. It is more like, I'm taking a healing path now. I want to get to know my true self. I'm no longer in this physical perspective of life where I need to know my own thinking to get stuck in the conformity in this society have put me in. So I hope I'm just speaking a statement to you to help you understand better of what's going on around the world. Move on to the next one. This is a flamingo fun card. I think I might need to go to guidebook on this regarding this one. Perhaps there is some sort of special relationship in the future for you, Morgan. It could be exciting. Is there anything else I need to say about this? So it is some future timeline for you. This particular one yield patience. It's more like, yeah, there's some compromising needs to be done in this remaining life journey. But at the same time, you need to draw a healthy boundary. It's just a matter of finding a balance point in this life. But you have to discern the difference between dark and light, Morgan. And that's what one of the cards is trying to tell you. It's not about being good or being evil or being bad in that regard. The way how human in this society have put labels on so many things and so many behaviors. So if you understand about energy, if you understand about negative and positive emotions, they do translate into positive and negative energy. And that's what the spiritual guardian is saying, that you need to discern just that. So therefore you don't judge whether things or people are good or bad in that regard. So I hope that makes sense, right? It's all about your inner world. What kind of energy are you emitting right now? If you can discern just that and just grasp what that is, translate into, then you can do something positive about that, because you have the free will to transform yourself. Yin yang balance. There are certain things need balancing, but certainly not about your emotions, because none of your emotions are permanent. You can alchemize it. You can transform that. So never take emotion into the extreme. It is about a little effort of releasing those that don't serve you anymore once you discern what they are, because you want to have energy that is uplifting, that can increase your soul energy, not the one that can sink your soul energy. So after you discern that and you work on releasing that, and that's when you feel the energy within you so much lighter, so much happier, so much more like your own self. That offended version that I'm talking about here. And you know you're not being under influence by the outside anymore. That require a little bit efforts, right? Once you're able to grab, oh, this emotion that I have is too extreme, I need to identify what that is, and this is what I need to do to release it when I'm being triggered by it. So slowly you're moving this extremity back into the center point. It takes a little bit effort, right? At first it seems like balancing, but eventually you will dissipate this negative energy, so-called negative emotions, and that's no longer need to be balanced. Remember, no emotion is a permanent thing. You have the free will to decide, hey, I don't need to practice this, because like fear, why do I need to be afraid of anything when I only have this lifetime to live, and I know one day my vessel will perish? Why not live without fear? Why not alchemize the fear-based living into a love-based living? So that way I know that I need to work toward the unconditional love, not conditioning everything in my life. So I hope you see why there's a balance card, not the wiki, whoever practicing wiki is saying, oh, you need to balance your negative emotion with your positive emotion. But that is not the case here. You can move mountains. Whatever obstacle that you think you are facing, you know, You can take control of your own attitude. You can take control the way how you perceive life, especially the word obstacle, right? Do you will that to be an obstacle? Then that is an obstacle. If you change that word obstacle into soul lessons, or you can change that into, oh, I see the light in this darkness, and this is what I need to do about that. Do you see how you can release the word obstacle, challenge, barrier, and change that into soul lessons, beauty in heavy things, light in the darkness, and so forth? And you can replace those words to help yourself to not to judge wherever you're facing. Embrace heavy life encounter that you have and cherish that moments, because you only have this one lifetime, Morgan. Why not explore it with your 100%? Don't explore it with this 57%. Why? That 50%, 57% could be your judgment. The rest of them is like your free will. Do you see the tip of the scale can change your attitude about how you approach life encounter? So therefore, you can move any mountains if you so exercise your free will. Rainbow, hope. Now, energies can be full of different colors. They do mean different things. But this hope, it's visible. You could have a rainbow's aura if you want to, Morgan. You can elevate your energy to reach for your higher self. You don't have to stuck in this three-dimensional world, this physical level. And you definitely don't need to stuck in the fourth dimensional level. Why people stuck in the fourth dimensional levels? Because they're practicing darkness. They don't realize their negative emotions create negative energy to get them stuck in this darkness. And when soul died, they're stuck in that kind of negativity. Their soul wander in this fourth dimensional world. People might call it hell. I'm not here to promote religion, hell versus heaven, nothing like that. I just use dimensional world to explain it to people. But when you get past that fourth dimensional world, you that's where your fifth dimensional world comes in. That is your higher self. You can reach for that. You can bypass the fourth dimensional world where you don't have to attract those negativities. People don't realize through meditation and they attract that, so don't manifest. That's my advice to you. They just don't realize manifestation using their negative energy attract similar thing in this 4D world. You don't need to attract that. All you need to do is connect to your higher self. Your spiritual guardian said it is awaiting for you to do that, Morgan. Work on your inner, do your inner work. Work on your recreating your inner world to change that energy that you have currently so you don't have to stuck in that darkness. It is awaiting for you to connect to your higher self so it can speak to you through that. And that's what this hope is about. There is light in everything. Infinity, unlimited potential. The path to soul ascension is unlimited. The light source is unlimited. It is coming from the unconditional love. If you can identify how you condition your life, Morgan, then you can learn to release it, those conditioning. And that's how you can elevate your energy and connect to this light, so-called infinity. And remember, when you're lost in this spiritual journey, let unconditional love guide you home. And think outside the box as well. That's what I'm hearing. This is the feather sign for you, messages. When you see feathers, your spiritual guardian is with you. It wants you to know you can connect with it. Wow, interesting, huh? The infinity. That is a sign for you, Morgan. This is a sign of the times. It is about spiritual sign everywhere. Just look around you, right? It's not just physical form. Maybe your gut's feeling it's telling you that it's a spiritual sign as well. Yeah, you can look at the nature and suddenly why you keep seeing that, like the feather. Feather come in any form. It could be you could see a bird. Birds have a lot of feathers. And a goose down pillow has feathers. And even maybe you encounter something on the internet. Oh, suddenly you see a feather. That could be a sign as well. Sign does not have to be in a physical form. It's trying to tell you your spiritual guardian is with you in this life journey. Have you tried to acknowledge it? It wants to tell you it's a she. Does it have a name? You want me to tell her? AMANDA. Is that correct? AMA. Is that correct? Your spirit guide. You can call her spirit guide. Ama or Ama? Ama? Emma? Amna. AMA. Let me put this. AMA. Initially, I thought it's Amanda, but doesn't seem like it. So I'm Ama, Ama, Emma. It wants to be called Emma. Try to get the pronunciation correct for you. Emma, your spirit guide. When you see the feather, it's trying to tell it is here. It's everywhere but nowhere. Morgan. Emma, yes. But the spelling is AMA, not the EMMA, but it sounds like Emma. You can talk to her anytime, Morgan. It heal you. So know that you're on this spiritual journey to heal your soul. Any more than I need to tell her through this card? Number signs. Seeing the 7 here. Take a spiritual journey. Learn spiritualism. Learn where your soul is coming from, how it works. That is so critical to your well-being, Morgan. You gotta look beyond the physical health. The physical health is just a vessel. Have you looked into your heart, soul, and mind? How healthy are they? Do you understand how they work? Do you know why they are all connected together? One is not doing well, it affects the other ones too. They circulate. So yes, you understand the sevens. So it's about take a spiritual path, understand spiritualism. There's a higher purpose in everything, whatever you're going through in life. So there's a lessons to be learned in everything that you encounter. Now you're learning about the spiritual science. It's a great choice of that for you. That's what I'm hearing from your spirit guide to tell you. Anymore. Number 3. Focus on yourself when you see number 3. Are you still focusing on the outside in your day-to-day life, tasks that you need to do, the interaction with people and so forth? When you see the 3, you need to work on your own self. There's some inner work that you need to do. Have you forgotten how emotionally triggered you can get through interactions? Just seeing something on the outside can trigger your emotions. Have you feel enough of your inside to understand that emotions? What is that emotion that is trying to tell you? What is that feeling? Morgan, what is that feeling right now? Can you discern, is it from the light side or is it from the dark side? It is from the dark side if you have identified it. It's time to release that. Don't wait. Your spiritual guardian say immediately when you have an emotional trigger like that, it's time to release it. The more you can aware of your inner self having negative emotion, the more you want to go about releasing that, so that way it does not continue to sink your soul energy. Remember, negative emotions like grief does sink your energy. It's not good for your soul. Your soul is not built to hold that much negative energy. Even as simple as grief, you can learn to ignite unconditional love, whatever reason why you're grieving. Morgan, are you still conditioning life? If you are, time to identify how you are conditioning life. Any more spiritual signs she needs to know. Number 4. When you see number 4, be in peace. Is there something you need to let go? Are you being too active with your energy that you need to rest? So when you see the 4th, it could be meaning in one of those things that I just mentioned. Anything else? Number 5. Number 4. Number 5. Okay, it's no more. No, I'm not picking up anymore, Morgans. I thought there's one more, but it's not. So Morgan, help me out here. Just focus on your breathing. Let go, so you're not manifest anything here. So I'll move on to the next card. The tree ancestry reunion. You're going to have twin flame reunion. Already has. Let me see if there's a timeline for that. Future and the past. You did have one. I don't know how many times in the past. And in the future, yes, you're not only on spiritual journey, you're on twin flame journey as well to ignite your unconditional love, Morgans. You have to work on this reunion. Before you do that, you have to work on yourself. Anything else I need to talk about here? The tree, everything in nature is connected. Even the human race is connected to nature. We are part of this intricate system, cannot live without the others. And Morgans, a lot of people want to destroy this world because they don't value, they don't understand the natural system on earth. So, and they're tended by their own darkness to have personal gain. They use whatever they think they desire just to do that. As simple as tree. Tree give us oxygen. Tree give us, if you drink tea, you know, and even the piece of wood that coming off from the tree can give us fire as well. So you see how tree is so valuable. It's not to mention it build houses and all that. But then they don't value nature anymore. So your guardian wants to tell you be mindful about all those artificial things that the humans world is creating for you, how they influence you to move you away from the nature. It wants you to cherish the nature, be in the nature, be with the nature, and think about the nature as well, how important they are to this world. How are you connect with the nature, Morgan? Are you still using artificial stuff like your guardian want me to say cosmetic? You know, there's some unnatural ingredient inside the cosmetic stuff, makeup, that you really need to look into that. It's not good for your health, not good for your mind. Beauty should come from the inside, not from the outside as well. Are you trying to make yourself feel good to condition your life? Are you allowing the societal how women should look or what other expect women to behave, dress, etc.? If you're allowing that, it's going to be hard to find your authentic self. So you need to be honest, how are you allowing the society to influence you to continue this path, to mask yourself? Masking yourself, it's hard to identify how you mask yourself. But I already mentioned the influence. I already mentioned an example of how expectation of women in the society that you live in can trigger that as well. Just a few examples. Any more to say about the ancestry? Ancestry is talk about the human ancestry. Why human went dark? Why it keep passing on from generation to generations? Yeah, the ancient time before the human get the chance to document that in history. It just as simple as jealousy, it's created negative emotions. It's the world's become more complex, like advancement, right? Technology advancement and desires also make things so complex. How humans no longer value the natural side of life. So it creates so much complexity, as simple as desire, jealousy, and all that. It makes emotions complicated. It's not that simple, right? The word fear can be coming from worry, can be come from I want to live longer, I want to protect myself. So they do whatever they can to do that. Our fear, our protections. You see how those things come from the source of fear? And that's why emotional healing is so complex now. And don't worry, Morgan. You know, your spirit guide is there to nudge you toward that. Just connect to your higher self, see what's coming through, what kind of inner guidance is coming through for you. But you just need to realize how fear is hard to let go, because you need to identify other form of emotion to understand how to really let go of fear. It could be in multiple layers, it could be in multiple masks that you're wearing. You need to peel it off like an onion, one layer at a time, to fully understand the picture. It's going to take time, so be patient. Don't define the outcome. Don't define what to expect out of that. And remember, every life encounter has a soul lesson for you. And that's the history of human ancestry. They chose the dark path and didn't realize it. And then as of today, everybody think, oh, it's normal. We all have that kind of emotions. It's just a matter of balancing it. But that's not true. You don't need to balance it. You just need to realize what that is and release it, because you have the free will not to practice that negative emotions anymore. It's a matter of choice. So you don't hold on to that to try to balance it and wait for another situation to trigger it to create more problem for you in the future. So Morgan, embrace every life event in your community to help you realize what you need to work on. The heart, the love, heart, the unconditional love bring you back to the center. It's about grounding. Love has a very grounding effect. Love can open your heart wherever you did in the past to close it, to cause that bitterness. Like grieving, it's one example of that, but there's a lot more to it, Morgan. Relationship in the past caused you bitterness. Relationship in the past caused you to close your heart, needing protections. Like you need this emotional survivals. Do you see how you're conditioning this to not to ignite your unconditional love? There's so much more for you to go back and to reflect. Like your past reunion with your twin friend. What happened? What caused these separations? What kind of judgment that you're still practicing at that moment in time that you couldn't reconcile with him? And why? How? What? When? Only you know. Only your heart know what your heart is trying to tell you, what it is that it's feeling at that moment in time. When you can open that up with courage, with strength, that is a new beginning to healing. This is the last card for you, healing. Healing is just not the physical side of healing. Emotional healing is so necessary. And then later on, and you realize your soul is healing as well. So you gotta understand your consciousness, how your ego can influence your consciousness. And then you have another side of you called subconsciousness from past life as well. Your past life needs healings. You need to understand that your soul traveled many life journeys, not only this one. So be patient, Morgans. Like divine timings tell you, this is the right moment to heal this specific emotions now. Don't rush. Just wait for that divine timing. You need that divine timing to tell you you are practicing this emotion, so therefore you need to work on that right away. Don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Overthinking is not a good sign. Emotion is about sensing, using your intuitive ability to sense it. Know that you have inner guidance to tell you that that's what you need to do to release it. There is no practical step like reading a book like how do you cook this recipe? What do you need to buy? How do you prepare each ingredient? What's the step by step to cook this recipe? It's not like that when you come to emotional healing. So your guardian is trying to explain it to you the difference about the physical perspective of life versus the spiritual perspective of life. So hopefully you can open up your eye to connect to your higher self so you can strengthen your intuitive ability. Trust that gut's feelings. Trust that inner sensation to help you. That's all you need. You don't need logical explanation through your mind. You don't have to look at your physical self, because if you do, it's only trigger more of the worries, fears, hesitations, doubt. I'm listing out all those negative feelings for you. So I hope that this is going to help you throughout this lifetime. And I'm archiving this reading to the Pinterest public service folder with today's date, April the 10th. And number 10 is usually mean the end of cycling. When you see 11, it means you're on twin flame journey or you're having a new cycle again. Number 11. 11, 11. Yes, you're still on twin flame journey. Don't forget about that. Anything else for Morgan here? This is the end of the reading. May you find light from Emma, your spirit guide. One card reading for Tawana from Love Oracle cards. Let me move this instruction up. You are enough. The person you're meant to be with will love you the way you are. You don't need to change. So it's about drawing healthy boundary, Tawana, as well. How are you loving yourself? Do you have to compromise to love yourself? And that's not really self-love if you have to do that. So may you find light from your spiritual guardian in this reading.